Hi friends, happy Christmas Eve. This is my last live video for the 25 days of Christmas, and it's a super fun, easy, and delicious recipe. So if you need something else to make for Christmas, or maybe you want to run something fun over to your neighbors, this is the perfect thing to make. So my kitchen is not set up for sharing my cooking, so I'm going to do this the best that I can, but hopefully you will bear with me as I do it. I'm going to show you some stuff on the stovetop, and then as the things bake, I will show you the finished product that I baked earlier today, and then once these are done, I'll pull them out of the oven and show you how to finish it. So basically, I'm making Christmas crack candy, which you may have already had before. You use saltine crackers, brown sugar, butter, chocolate chips, and then you can add nuts on top if you want, which I made one batch without and one batch with, because I do not always like baked goods with nuts. So let me know in the comments if you are team nuts or team no nuts in baked goods. So all right, I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna just try to turn my phone so that you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I won't cover up the camera too much and or make you motion sick. Okay, so I'm turning my stove on to maybe medium heat for now. And this is super healthy. I'm using 2 sticks of butter. I stocked up on butter at Aldi this year because they had it super cheap, and when it's cheap they usually limit it to 6. So I've bought it twice at their limit of 6. And then we got a little bit more at Costco. We use a lot of butter just normally on toast and cooking, and then during the holidays we use a lot too. So got the butter put in there, and I'm at the mercy of how quickly this stuff goes today, so hopefully you don't mind watching. And then I'm going to put in just a cup of brown sugar, which is almost what I have left in the bag, but I better measure it just to make sure. The oven is ready. I just heard it go off, so there is half a cup, and get another one, and another half a cup. So then I want to stir those together, and as soon as it comes to a boil, then I will set a timer for 2 minutes and let it boil for 2 minutes, but I will stir it that whole time. It's basically making like that caramely, like candy coating if you've made caramel puff corn before. I know there are other desserts that you kind of use that same mixture, but this is just butter and brown sugar, so I'm going to let that melt. And then, while that is going, we'll move the camera over here. Sorry for the glare of the light. I don't know if that's terrible or not. Okay, so then I have, the recipe calls for a 10 by 15 pan. I did not measure this, but I think that this is close. So I'm just spraying it down. I'm using coconut cooking oil. Can you see that? It does not leave a flavor of coconut. It's a little bit healthier than regular cooking spray. So you want to spray the foil down really well so that everything just comes off easily. And then I have found that the crackers that I'm using takes a sleeve and 2 crackers to fill this pan. So I don't know if all sleeves of crackers are the same, but that's how this one is. So we'll just line those. And you don't want to overlap the crackers at all, because then they will not come apart as easily when you're cutting or however you break it apart. And then you want to make sure that all of it gets covered with the caramely toffee. And if they're overlapped, they will not be. So I'm going to hurry up and get this done because I'm hearing some bubbles on the stove. This would be so easy to make, like I said, for neighbors or friends or teachers or whoever. Super inexpensive too. So if you're looking for sort of that last minute budget friendly gift. I know when I used to work at Fairway, people would bring this in to us as like a Christmas gift. Customers always brought in Christmas goodies, and that was fun. Okay. Got on there. They're kind of popped up a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, moving back over here because I want to give this a stir. I probably am going to go over the time of how long this should be on the burner, but that's okay. So I'm curious if you've ever made this before or eaten it. Maybe you don't know exactly what I'm making yet. I know other people have made it. I have just started making it in the last couple of years. I think I made a batch last year. It's pretty new to me. Also today I made caramel puff corn, so I've used a lot of butter today, and I made Ritz cracker cookies, which are my favorites. Okay, so I want this to boil for 2 minutes, so I will watch the clock on that. And then you just want to keep stirring it. I found that it got kind of clumpy earlier today when I made the other ones if I didn't stir it, so I just want to make sure that it gets mixed as well as it should. Right now it still looks like the butter is a little bit separate. I wish I had like the kitchen with a stove in the middle of the island and I could have set this up like a legit cooking show, but alas, this will have to do. A few more seconds on this one, and then all we'll do after this is done bubbling and doing its thing is pour it over the crackers, and then they go into the oven for 6 minutes. So this is super easy, and that is my favorite kind of recipe. Also, I like that if you really wanted to make this for gifts, it goes super quickly, so you could just work on one batch while the other one is cooking. And then the longest time really is just letting the chocolate set up. Okay, so can you kind of see that a little bit? It like almost gets foamy. So I'm going to move this back over here so you can see me pour it. Turn the burner off. And then you just want to pour it all over the crackers. Try to get it as dispersed as well as you can. It starts to harden really quickly, I think. And so I had a hard time this morning getting it all over the crackers before it started to harden. So just kind of go as quickly as you can over them. You want it to cover all of them. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Get a little bit more in this corner. Get over there. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this in the oven for 6 minutes. Okay, so then show you, see my face again. This is what the final product looks like, and I took this off the pan fairly soon after it came out of the oven. Sorry for the lighting. It's not super bright in here. And because I sprayed it, it does peel off pretty easily. So you can kind of see what the back looks like. So this is the one without nuts, and we got into it already today. So sorry about that, but it's super delicious. So you definitely could just break this apart. but I thought I might try to cut it nicely. I don't know why, but just using a big chef's knife and just kind of do it easily. Cut super nicely. So this way, if you cut it a little bit nicer, then it would stack better in a tray or a box. But obviously, like I said, you could just break it apart too. The top part looks like the top to scotcheroos. If you guys make scotcheroos, that's what it reminded me of. That. So in my mind, I'm cutting where the crackers are, but I don't know if that is actually true. I might be way off on the lines. This is super budget friendly. I think the box of crackers cost me $2. I bought the super cheap Hy-Vee brand. And then chocolate chips I already had, and brown sugar I already had. So, and I could make just under 4 batches from the box of crackers. So that is what they look like inside. Stack those on a plate. I think you could put crushed peppermint on the top of this. I don't necessarily love that, but if you had someone who did like it, I think cashews would be really good on top. I just did walnuts because I had a big bag of them. Stacked on there. Oh, make it a huge mess. Try to ignore that. And then here is the batch with the nuts on it. So I just crushed these with my knife or did a rough chop of them and then put them on while the chocolate was still kind of melty. Super easy. I think anyone would love to get this as a little giftie. And definitely would be nice to set out just like we always do, just sort of buffet style for our Christmas. So just eat throughout the day. You could just have these sitting out on a tray, or if you do like a mixed cookie platter or something like that. It's nice to have an easy cookie or candy to make along with the ones that are a little bit more intricate or time consuming. But I try not to do those kinds. And you can keep these for about 2 weeks and they'll stay nice and crunchy. After that, they'll start to get soggy, but I don't even think it would last that long. But just so you would know if you were going to make them ahead of time at all. I should have gotten another plate. Grab that really quick. So I wish I could give these to you guys, because we certainly do not need all of them, but I wanted you to see what they looked like with the nuts on top and without, so that you would know that is an option. Cooper's been sniffing all day. I've been in the kitchen all day making food. So Cooper is our corgi, and he's been begging for some treats. What other Christmas goodies do you guys make? I am not someone who enjoys making like sugar cookies and stuff like that. I'm not patient. I don't feel like I'm good at decorating them, and I'm pretty particular about how things look. So sugar cookies are usually just something that if I made it, it would just be for like our own enjoyment. My grandma always made the almond, I think they're like almond Danish wedding cookies, the ones that you roll in powdered sugar They have like almonds and it's a white cookie. She always made those, and she made peanut butter fudge, which I've never attempted. All right, we have just a few seconds left on the timer, and then I'm gonna pull the batch that I just made out of the oven, and I'll show you how to do the chocolate chips on top. Okay, you do not want to leave these in the oven too long because it'll burn. The caramel will burn, and then it's disgusting. So as you can see, the crackers are kind of, maybe you can see, like floating on the toffee. So I'm going to grab a fork. Just kidding, we don't have any clean forks. And just kind of push that down because I want the caramel or the toffee stuff to be evenly distributed, as well as the chocolate. So I'm trying to push these back into place. They're floating all over in here. So do as I say, not as I do. You don't want these to overlap at all. So then the last step is putting on the chocolate chips and nuts if you're going to do that. So it calls for a cup of chocolate chips. This is probably about 3 cups-ish, 2.5 cups. So I'm just going to eyeball it. You definitely can put on as much as you want, as little as you want. Just so you'll get chocolate everywhere. And then of course what I need is in the bottom of the sink, covered by clean dishes. So I'm just going to use a spoon, and the chocolate chips, because all of this is so hot, the chocolate chips will melt very quickly after sitting on the caramely stuff. So then you just spread it out. Evenly over the top. Looks like they needed to sit for another minute. For whatever reason, the caramel all went to the bottom on this one, so it's a little bit different than the other ones. Probably because I'm live on Facebook and that's how it goes. Okay. Get that covered almost. So they are not picture perfect, but I don't think anyone will care because they're delicious. All right, so there it is. See if I can turn the camera at all so you can get a little bit closer view. Super delicious, super easy, very budget friendly. Like I said, this cost like less than $5, and I could give this away to several people. I'll be able to have it at both of our family Christmases, which is nice, and it was super easy to make, and that's my favorite thing. So thank you for watching. I am not a cooking show, so I appreciate you being patient with the process, and let me know if you have any questions about it. I will post the recipe in the comments of this video, but it's super easy. A cup of brown sugar, a cup of butter, 2 sticks of butter, and then however many saltine crackers will cover your pan. Like I said, I think it's a 10 by 15. I'm not 100% sure. So a half sheet pan, is that what you call it? But I will post all of the instructions in the description of the video. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you guys all have a really Merry Christmas. I think this 25 Days of Christmas has been a lot of fun. I know Brooke has one more idea for you tomorrow, and then we will be sharing a fun video on Christmas Day. But I appreciate you watching. I don't do a lot of lives on Facebook, so I know that it's something different for my account, but hopefully you've enjoyed it and hopefully I can continue. So have a Merry Christmas and thank you for watching.